No matter what you're doing in RuneScape, there are just a set of things that are so useful to have that I feel like any account really, really benefits from it. So if you're an early player or a mid-level player, you know, maybe you have some of this, maybe you don't, but ultimately it's really important that you have all of these. And I've tried to condense this as much as possible. So I'm bringing you 5 really important things that are must-haves to make your time in Gielinor so much easier. Starting at number 1, I would argue the most important thing you can do for your account, and the faster you can get this, the better, is to 1, level your agility skill, and 2, get the graceful set along while you are leveling your agility skill. One might ask, why is graceful so important? Well, let's look at the actual fundamentals of how the agility skill works. As you can see on this picture right here, we could take these 2 lines right here, with the above line being with graceful and the below line being without graceful. You can see that just like even if we don't factor in the agility level into consideration, just wearing the graceful set reduces the amount of time that it takes to recharge your energy and run energy to full dramatically. It takes it from 1250 game ticks to 1000 game ticks. So you're basically shaving off a fifth of the time just by wearing the set. Not to mention the compounding benefits of like recharging while you're running, because you may not realize, but your run energy is always recharging. If you're running, there's still recharging happening. I would argue this is the single most important thing you can do for your account. It is a slow process. Getting agility takes time. I believe it's maybe anywhere between like 10 to 15 hours, maybe even a little more, just to get the requirement for graceful set, and we'll go over that in a second. So I would advise you, unless you're the kind of person that can just slam out a long period of time at a time, do this in 1 hour chunks here and there, and in a couple weeks you'll now have a really high agility level, and you'll have full graceful. And then if you want to go higher, it's your choice, because at that point it's diminishing returns. You get the most amount of like benefit from the first 50 levels that you're going to do with the final 50 levels. Okay, so first, the single best thing you can do for your account is training your agility. So to get full graceful set, all you have to do is you go through the respective rooftop courses, right? So you can see on this chart right here, you can see that the rooftop courses only start at level 10. So you are going to have to start at the Gnome agility, the Gnome Stronghold agility course, and you will have to do a quest, or I think you have to start a quest to gain access to the course. I don't believe you have to finish the quest. And then once you have reached 10, you can decide, okay, I want to go to the Draenor Village rooftop course. Super easy. You just head your way to Draenor. You can use an Amulet of Glory if you have one, or you can use a home teleport to Lumbridge, and then just walk a little west to Draenor, and you'll find yourself in the village and the rooftop. You just have to look around at the buildings, and eventually, if you're on the Runelight plugin, you will see an area to click, and you just keep following the areas, and you will find your way over through the whole rooftop course. You do that until you hit level 20, and you can decide, okay, maybe I want to switch to the Alcarid rooftop course, right? Or you can just ride out the Draenor all the way to 30. As you may have seen earlier, the way you get Marks of Grace is just running the rooftop course. Every time you complete a course and you go back on, there's a chance for the Mark of Grace to spawn. So you can see I just picked it up. As you go through, if you're on the Runelight client, all these green markers will now be red. That's an indicator that there's a Mark of Grace somewhere in the course for you to pick up. All you need is 260 of these, and as soon as you have those, you can head on over to this lady right here. They sell the full set of Graceful. You can just buy every piece, and then after that, you don't have to do the grind again. Okay, the second piece of advice I would give to all early and mid-level accounts would be to just start working towards your quest cape. This is a really big goal, and this is not something that you can do in a day. It's not even something you could do in a week. Even if you have to go really hard, nonstop, and no life it for every day, it's probably going to take you a little over a week. There's hundreds of quests. Some of them can take hours. Some of them are as fast as 2 seconds, right? But the reason why you want to get your quest cape is because as you get closer and closer to your quest cape, you're unlocking the entire map. You're unlocking bosses. You're unlocking new equipment. You're unlocking some of the best experience rates for many skills. You're unlocking new spell books with the Ancient and Lunar spell books. So the Ancient spell book gives you some of the best magic for like the best magic to PvP in the game, some of the best magic to PvM in the game. Lunar gives you so many different utility spells. So if you like doing farm runs, Lunar is great for that. Both spellbooks give you tremendous teleports throughout the map that the standard spellbook doesn't give you. And then there's also Barrow's Gloves, which are some of the best in slot melee gear, at least for a long time. The next tip that I have for you all is quite simple, honestly, and you probably already know of it. If you've ever seen the floating objects above players' heads, maybe you've probably seen some of these, maybe some other ones like the heart or the blue beam, the red beam. These are all overhead. They're called overhead prayers, and ideally, early game you want to get to 43 for protect from melee, because as soon as you have protect from melee, you also have protect from missiles. You have protect from magic, which are, as you know, in RuneScape, are the 3 combat styles, right? So you have mage, range, melee. So as soon as you have 43, you have the prayers to protect from all 3 styles. And just with a bit of research or just some trial and error, you can figure out what exactly the monster's hitting you with, and you can put the overhead up and prevent damage. This will allow you to go through quests safely. This will allow you to go through the wilderness a little more safe, although players are pretty good about working around that. But for the most part, this will help you defeat monsters that are significantly higher level than you, as long as you have the prayer points to maintain the overhead prayer and keep it online. For the most part, as long as you're burying the bones whenever you kill a monster, your prayer level is going to hit 43 fairly quickly. If you're looking to expedite that process and get it to 43, if you're anticipating needing it or just want it because it's cool, that's fair. The way to do it is basically you can just buy bones or you can save them from your killings, and then the actual way to get prayer experience is you just left click a bone in your inventory, and you can see right here, I bury the bone and I get 72 prayer XP. The better way to do it, which you're going to get a lot more XP from, is to find a way to get to Rimington. It's south of Falador, so if you have to, you can just bank from Falador and then run south into Rimington. But you want to be on World 330, and you can see this birdhouse right here. If you click on the birdhouse, you can see all these listings, right? But how do you know which one to pick? Well, you're looking for the construction level 99, and you can see all these different icons. The left one, right over here, is the Gilded Altar. This is what we're going to be using. So as long as there's a Y on that row, you can pick anyone. So anyone that's level 99, or the level doesn't really matter, but high level, and a yes for the Gilded Altar, we can just run up straight to the altar right here. And before you want to bury the bones, you want to look at the 2 incense burners to the side, and you can see they're relighting it right here. It is very important that both of these burners is lit, otherwise you're not going to get the max XP. Now that you can see there's incense burning from both of them, we can go ahead and right-click. Don't left-click, right-click the bones, select use, and then use it on the Gilded Altar, and you'll see we get 252 now. So we're getting almost 4 times the XP just for coming to this house and using it on the altar rather than burying it in the ground. So unless you are running out of room, I would save the bones that you can, put it in your bank, set up a time where you're just, switch to World 330, and then just find a host and then bury all your bones at the altar. You will get 43 prayer in absolute no time. All right, the next piece of advice I have for you is what are called defenders. You can see this little dagger that I'm holding in my offhand right here. You'll probably see a lot of people running around with these defenders on. It's basically following the concept of the best defense is, well, a good defense is your best offense, right? So why bother wearing a shield when you can just hit the monster harder? That's the idea of a defender. You put it in the shield slot, and it just makes you even stronger. See, you can see all my attack bonuses because of my defender. So it offers some defense too, but for the most part, you're equipping it because you want to hit harder. So the way that you get a defender is you can use a combat bracelet, or you just want to head over to Burthorpe, which is right over here. So you see the main members gate right here. If this is Falador, you can work your way up to Burthorpe right here. This right here is the Warriors Guild. And to gain access to the Warriors Guild, all you need is your attack and strength levels added up to equal 130, or to equal or greater than 130. So if you have 65 attack and 65 strength, you're good to go. If you have 70 attack, 60 strength, you're good to go. Or you can have either at 99, and that'll let you in as well. And you're gonna run in here as soon as you meet the requirements. You're gonna run over here to this main room, and what you're gonna need is you're gonna need a full armor set. And what I mean by a full armor set is I believe every piece of the armor set, so the full helm, the plate body, the plate legs, except the kite shield. And as soon as you have those, you take those 3 pieces. They have to be unnoted in your inventory. You select one of them, you use it, and you use it on this magical animator right here, and it's gonna make basically it's gonna animate that armor. All you do now is you should hopefully have your combat equipment on and some food, maybe some potions to increase your stats. You kill the actual armor set. When you kill the armor, depending on the tier of armor that you're using, you're gonna get some amount of tokens. And then you pick up the tokens, you'll get the armor back, you use the armor, and you repeat until you have enough tokens. What you do with the tokens, I'll show you in a second. But you do this until you reach a certain amount of tokens, and that's it. There is a quick thing to note. If you're going to use anything lower than the black armor set, there is a chance that you will lose a piece of the armor. So if you use anything black or higher, so black, mithril, adamant, or rune, you're guaranteed to get all of it back. But if you use something like iron or steel, there's a chance that you're not going to get all of the armor back. Anyway, when you get all the tokens, you just head out of this room, come over here, you can go to the bank. Before you go into this next location that I'm about to show you, you want to make sure that you are fully ready for combat for no return, or at least no return for a while. So you equip all your armor, and you put all your food in your inventory. You go up the stairs twice to this lady right here, Camfrina, and then you basically enter here when you have I want to say it's like 100 tokens or something, and you're gonna burn like I think something like 10 tokens every minute or something like that. But anyway, you want to store like several hundred tokens on you, and then you kill these Cyclops, and then you want to check the drops every time you kill one. You're going to start from a Bronze Defender eventually, so you kill enough of these, they'll drop a Bronze Defender. And then when you get the Defender, you want to come on out of here, talk to Camfrina, tell her, hey, like I got the Defender, I want to go back in and get the next one. You'll work your way to the Iron Defender, and then you'll get the Steel Defender, the Black Defender, the Mithril Defender, the Adamant Defender, and then eventually the Rune Defender, which is the last one you can get in this room. And then if you want to go further for the Dragon Defender, it is right down here, and then you exit out the back right here, this door. So you go through here, take the door out. You go down here, and there's a separate section just for the Dragon Defender. You can work your way up. You can't get the Rune without getting the Adamant, and then that works the same for all the prerequisites. But as soon as you get the Dragon Defender, you're basically done. So here is a list of the stats for all defenders. I would assume that is if you can enter the Warriors Guild, you're a more mid-level account. You probably have the stats to wield these, but I'm going to post it just in case. When you have the Defender, you're pretty much good to go. Don't worry about the Avernic Defender. That is a very expensive upgrade. That is more late game than anything else. But as soon as you have the Dragon Defender, that's the main thing you want to focus on. The next important thing, I think, is just different teleportation methods. So if you already have the other tips in this video, you probably already have quite a bit, but there's a lot of ways to teleport around the map. So other than the standard spellbook and its teleports, you have the lunar teleports, you have the ancient magic teleports. You also have other interesting ways, like you have hot air balloons, you have the gnome gliding, you have ships, you have the minecart system from the dwarves. You have all these different ways of teleporting, and all of them give you unique areas. So, for example, with fairy rings, right, which is unlocked through, I believe, the second fairy tale quest, they basically give you all of these, like this immense network of fairy rings that you can access any one of the rings from any one of the other rings, and you can put a fairy ring in your house. So the same concept is if you don't have the construction level for it, you can go to World 330 and use the fairy ring there. There's also a pretty convenient fairy ring next to the Edgeville Bank, which takes maybe like 20 seconds to run to. There's also a good fairy ring if you have the Quest Cape teleport right near the Legends Guild. So there's all these different ways that just make teleportation and movement around the map very convenient and fast, because this is the kind of game where you're not going to be in one location unless you're a region locked account, but you're going to be going all over the map. So get your hot air balloons unlocked, get the gliders unlocked, make sure you have the different spell books, work on the different jewelries, make sure you have access to all of these, and you're going to find that your ability to move around the map is significantly easier and more fun. You know, if you've made it this far, then I hope these 5 tips were of use to you. I think it's important to understand that, you know, Old School RuneScape is a game that you can play however you want. this is just one interpretation of things I think that you should prioritize. There are so many more other things, like if you want to go for Fire Cape, you can go for Fire Cape. 50 Construction is also extremely useful. There's other things like Mage Arena, going for a Fighter Torso, working on Slayer. These are all great advices, but at the end of the day, these are just 5 things that I think are just like universally good, and ultimately the game comes down to how you want to play. So anyway, if you enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate if you would shoot a like my way. And if you like my content, feel free to check it out. I've got some more videos. Other than that, I hope you have a great day. Enjoy your time playing RuneScape. I know I do, and I hope the rest of your day is also good. Take care.